Hello, my name is Sophia Mendez, and this is my speech. The speech that I had watched was delivered by former President Joe Biden on September 24th, 2024, to the 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly. This was his fourth and last speech as President of the United States. Biden wished to use the speech as a farewell to the UN, world leaders, and politics altogether. To prepare, Biden knew he had to do three things. First, Biden wanted to acknowledge his 50-year political career. It's not that he wanted to remind the audience of what an important figure he is, but what happened during those 50 years. When he was first elected as a U.S. Senator in 1972, which was during the Cold War, he remembered, quote, when our country was divided and angry, and there were questions about our staying power and our future. But even then, I entered public life not out of despair, but out of optimism, end quote. From the Vietnam War to the apartheid in South Africa to COVID-19, Biden wanted to emphasize what he has seen and done within his career. Secondly, Biden needed to establish a relationship between all the nations gathered at the UN. He recognizes the tragedies and conflict that occurred in the U.S. and other countries during his career. He emphasizes that, quote, the center has held, leaders and people from every region and across the political spectrum have stood together. He urges the nations to not look towards individualism, but to embrace collectivism. He stresses that through unity, one can overcome anything. Lastly, Biden wanted to leave the UN with a bit of advice for the future. He had already built up his credibility and a shared history with the other nations at the UN. Now he wished to leave something with them. At the time of the speech, new conflicts were heating up. By acknowledging what has happened in Russia, Ukraine, Palestine, and Israel, and Sudan, he acknowledges that there is still much to be done. While his time has ended, others must move forward. Towards the end of his speech, he states, my fellow leaders, there is nothing that's beyond our capacity if we work together. Let's work together. He urges the UN not to abandon each other, but to work together. To utilize Biden's audience adaptations of my speeches, it is important that I share a common link with my audience. I should not treat them all the same, as my audience may come from different backgrounds, but I should look for the things that we do share. Whether if it's a shared history conflict or something else entirely, I have to look for ways to connect myself to the audience. Thank you so much for listening.